Up till now we have been given a degraded image. We called it small g of x comma y, and we tried to model that degraded image as a convolution of the original image with the degrading function small h of x comma y plus a additive random noise. And since the degraded image has resulted by a convolution process, whenever we will try to do the restoration of the image, that is estimating a good estimate of original image from the degraded image given to us, whenever we will try to restore the image, we will have to perform a process which will be essentially called as a deconvolution. We want to reverse the convolution process, and hence we want to we will name that process, you will realize that process as a deconvolution process. So image deconvolution is reverse to the process of doing convolution. It is being done so because that degraded image has resulted out of convolution. So if we want to restore the image, we'll have to look for filters with which we can deconvolve the degraded image, so that we get back an image which is a close estimate of the original image, and that will be called as image restoration. So now we'll be spending some time to study, to understand what are the methods, the ways we can try to estimate the degrading function which will be helpful to restore our image from the degraded version. We'll try to estimate the degrading function, so that in some manner we'll be able to perform this image deconvolution process. The deconvolution is possible only if we estimate the degrading function, then only we'll be able to perform the image deconvolution operation which is necessary to get back our restored image. So we'll cover three ways how we can estimate the degrading function for our use in image restoration. The first way is estimating the degrading function by a observation process. Then we have another method of estimating the degrading function, and that is by experimentation. And the third method is the estimation of degrading function by mathematical modeling. So let us start with estimation of degradation function by image observation. In this method, what we do, we have a what we have is only a degraded image represented specially as small g of x comma y, and is represented in frequency domain by capital G of u comma v. And at this point, when we are given with this degraded image, we have no knowledge about the degradation function h. The degradation function h in spatial domain is small h of x comma y. The degradation function represented in frequency domain is capital H of u comma v. So at this point, when we are starting off to estimate the degradation function, we are with no knowledge about the degradation function, and we will assume that the image has been degraded by a linear position invariant process, and we will try to get back the knowledge about the degradation function h from the image itself, that means the degraded image itself. So in the estimation by image observation, what we'll do, we'll take into consideration a small rectangular section of the image, a sub-image of the degraded image. A rectangular section from the complete original image will take only a small sub-image from the entire image, and that sub-image should contain small structures, let's say an object with its background, a small structural object with its background. And then in order to reduce the effect of noise, the sub-image will be selected such that in that sub-image the signal content is stronger as compared to the background. Signal content, that means the contrast of the image is somewhat better than rest of the image. Objects should be quite prominently identified from the background with least of noise affected in that part of the image. Then for that sub image we'll perform some image processing task. Suppose the image is a blurred image, so we'll go for image deblurring. If it is a blurred image, if the sub image is a blurred image, we'll perform image deblurring and some other processes so that the result is as unblurred as possible as can be done. So it should be processed in a way it can be made as unblurred as possible. So we can, for doing that, we can go for image sharpening filters. So we'll apply the image sharpening filters, whether spatial or frequency domain filters, on that sub image so that we can reduce the amount of blurring if in that the degraded sub image. So let the observed sub image, the rectangular portion, be represented as small g subscript s of x comma y, and let the restored image, by deblurring the gs of x comma y, whatever deblurred image we get in our example. So we assumed that gs of x comma y was a blurred image, and we tried to estimate the deblurred image as fs cap of x comma y. So we got it by using the image sharpening filters and whatever deblurring process we could do, so that fs cap of x comma y is as deblurred as possible that we can perform. Then we can have an estimate of the degradation function as capital H subscript s of u comma v equals to capital G subscript s of u comma v divided by fs cap of u comma v, where gs of u comma v is the Fourier transform of this gs of x comma y, and fs cap of u comma v is the Fourier transform of fs cap of x comma y. The ratio of gs of u comma v by fs cap of u comma v will give you an estimate of the degradation function in frequency domain, that is hs of u comma v. So we have assumed here there is no role of or least role of noise in the degradation, in getting the degraded image gs of x comma y, and by that notion we can easily estimate the degradation function hs of u comma v in this manner. And from this hs of u comma v we can deduce the complete degradation function. We can deduce the complete degradation function h of u comma v, h of u comma v, with the assumption that the h of u comma v has to be a position invariant function. Let's say for example we have got an hs of u comma v which is a Gaussian curve, In that case we can deduce the capital H of u comma v as a larger scaled version of hs of u comma v. In that case we can model capital H of u comma v as a larger scaled version of hs of u comma v. So that's why capital H of u comma v in this example also has to be a Gaussian curve but of a larger scale, maintaining the same shape of the Gaussian curve but of larger scale. And this capital H of u comma v can be said that this degradation function has been estimated by image observation. And this capital H of u comma v, this degradation function, can be later used for image restoration by the process which we will be calling it as image deconvolution. Because for image deconvolution we need to know the degradation function, we need to estimate the degradation function. Even if we don't know, we don't have the prior knowledge about the degradation function, we'll have to somehow estimate the degradation function so that we can apply the image deconvolution and go for image restoration. Okay, let us now go to the next method of how we can estimate the degradation function, and the next method is estimation of the degradation function by experimentation. In this method, so we have already a degraded image and we are assuming that whatever equipment or whatever system got us the degraded image, the same equipment, the same system is available with us while we are trying to restore the image from the degraded image. That is the assumption being made. So in this, what we'll do, we'll take the original image, and let it to be at the input of that particular equipment, and then we will adjust the system settings of the equipment such that for the original image input to that equipment, the equipment will produce a degraded image which is quite similar to the degraded image that is given to us for restoration. So now at this point we have already a system which is quite similar to the degradation system which has affected the original image to give us the degraded image. Now we are interested to find the impulse response of the equipment, the degradation system. We are interested to know the impulse response of the degrading system or the equipment. So how you can do that? So we will now to the same equipment we will give as input an impulse signal. So here we have a 2D image, so we need to give a 2D impulse as its input. So whatever comes at the output of the equipment is the impulse response of the equipment or of the degrading system. So how you can visualize a 2D impulse which is given to the equipment? You can visualize the 2D impulse as a small dot of light in a 2D image. You only have a small bright spot of light to imitate the impulse to imitate a 2D impulse. The bright dot of light should be as bright as possible to reduce the effect of noise, negligible values. So we are keeping the brightness of the white dot of light as bright as possible to reduce the effect of noise to negligible levels. So now we have got the impulse response of the equipment, and we already know that if equipment or if system is a linear and space invariant system, then it is completely characterized by its impulse response. So we should also recall that the Fourier transform of an impulse response is a constant. In the degradation model that we have discussed, we have seen that we have represented the degraded image G in frequency domain as a multiplication of the degradation function H and the input image in Fourier domain. So degradation function in Fourier domain and the input image, the original image in Fourier domain. So G is given by H upon and G. So G is given as H multiplication F. This is all in frequency domain. So whenever we are interested to know the H, H is simply G upon F. And in our discussion, in our situation, we have maintained the F to be a impulse. And in our method case, we have to our available equipment, we have given a input to that equipment which is a impulse, which is a 2D impulse, and the Fourier transform of a 2D impulse, is a constant. So F is A here. The F is A here. So this becomes H becomes equals to G upon A. So this is what we have written here. So H of u comma v is simply G of u comma v divided by the impulse in Fourier domain, which is a constant capital A. So we have, in this manner, we have been able to estimate the degradation function in Fourier domain, that is capital H of u comma v of the equipment which caused the degradation. The third method that can be used to estimate the degradation function we are going to study is estimation of the degradation function by mathematical modeling. So we are trying to, in this method, we are trying to mathematically model the very cause of degradation, and it is sometimes the modeling is so well that it is trying to model the degradation cause. It is even able to model the environmental conditions in which the degradation takes place. In order to demonstrate the estimation of the degradation function by use of this estimation by modeling, we will demonstrate a case of image degradation when the image is degraded due to a relative motion of the imaging system, a relative motion of the sensor with respect to the scene being captured or scene being imaged. So in this case the image has been degraded due to some motion blur. So the image here has been blurred due to a uniform linear motion between the image and the sensor during the image acquisition. So like the earlier cases, let the original image be represented as small f of x comma y in the spatial domain, and which are undergoing a planar motion in x and y axis of the plane. Let this x0 of t and y0 of t represent the time varying components of motion in x and y directions respectively. In such a case, the total exposure at any point of the sensor is obtained by integrating the instantaneous exposure over the time interval during which the imaging system shutter is open. So capital T, here the capital T is the interval for which the shutter is open, and during this interval from 0 to capital T, we are integrating the instantaneous exposure of the sensor to the scene. So this very expression models the exposure of the imaging system at the coordinate x comma y while the uniform linear motion is taking place, and hence small g of xy is the model for the degraded image. Taking the Fourier transform of small g of x comma y, that is the degraded image in the spatial domain, when it has to be worked out to get the frequency domain, the Fourier domain, we perform the Fourier transform of small g of x comma y. So it will be given by capital G of u comma v equals to integration minus infinity to infinity with respect to x and y, that is small g of x comma y e to power minus j2 pi ux plus vy. So by performing this, we'll be able to find out the Fourier domain of the spatial small g of x comma y. Now over here what we are doing, we are replacing g of xy in this expression with this RHS expansion. So this g of xy equals to this much will be replaced in this expression. So g of xy equals to this much replaced here. So this is the expression of g of u comma v in terms of f. Now in this expression we are reversing the order of integration. So the integral with respect to time has been taken outside. So integration 0 to t is outside the square bracket. So it is dt here, and the whole rest of the integration is inside this square bracket. So if you look closely, thing in the square brackets is nothing but the Fourier transform e to the power minus j2 pi u x0 of t plus v y0 of t. Now this capital G of u comma v can be written as f of u comma v taken outside the integral, because this integration is with respect to time and f of u comma v is a function of u and v. So f of u comma v can be taken outside the integral, and this gives you f of u comma v integration 0 to t, this exponential thing with respect to the variable, integrated with respect to the variable t. Now this, if you look into this expression closely, it is in the form of g of u comma v equals to f of u v multiplication some h of u comma v, where h of u comma v is this expression. So what we have done in this demonstration, we have now in a point where we have modeled the motion blur. We have motion blur due to a uniform linear motion as capital H of u comma v, which is given by this integration expression. So capital H of u comma v, the degradation due to motion blur has been modeled by this integration expression. And this is nothing but one example of modeling the degradation function using mathematical modeling. So once we have an estimate of the degradation function that we can obtain by any of the three methods that we have discussed, that is the three methods, and the estimation of the degradation function by image observation, estimation by experimentation, or the estimation of the degradation function by mathematical modeling. So whatever method would have resulted in getting that degradation function been estimated, so our sole aim for estimating the degradation function is to use it for image restoration. So once we have an estimate of the degradation function, we should be able to use it for image restoration. So inverse filtering talks about using the degradation function in image restoration. So let that estimated degradation function be represented as capital H cap of u comma v, and we have modeled our degraded image g of u comma v as the multiplication of the actual degradation function h of u comma v and the image in Fourier domain, that is capital F of u comma v, the original image in Fourier domain, plus an additive noise that has been represented in Fourier domain by capital N of u comma v. So this is a representation in frequency domain. So we are unaware what kind of noise has affected, what is the nature of the degradation function. We were unaware of those things, but we were only given the degraded image g of u comma v. So we could somehow have an estimate of this h of u comma v by any of the three methods which we have discussed. We could have some estimate of this capital H of u comma v. So we are naming that estimate of the degradation function as h cap of u comma v. So once you have that estimate, we can try to get an estimate of the original image, or we can try to get the restored image as this g of u comma v divided by the estimate of the degradation function. So this whole thing divided by h cap of u comma v. So if the estimation of the degradation function is good, is close enough, then this h of u comma v and this h cap of u comma v will closely cancel each other. So it will give you this f cap of u comma v equals to this f of u comma v plus n of u comma v divided by h cap of u comma v. This whole thing. So you see over here that even though you have a very good estimate of the degradation function, then also you are getting a restored image which is not totally this f of u comma v. So the estimated image, the restored image, is not equals to the original image, but it is the restored image is equals to the original image plus a finite quantity. So even though the estimation of the degradation function is very good, then also we have the restored image which is close to the original image, but it is the original image plus some quantity. So the restored image is still not degradation free. It is having some amount of degradation still in it. And the problems do not end here. The problem will be very much more critical if this h cap of u comma v for certain values of u comma v takes zero values. In that case, this whole quantity will be tending to infinity. If this h cap of u comma v for certain u and v tends to 0, this will tend to infinity. so it will take very large values. So for those coordinates of u comma v, for those frequency components corresponding to u comma v, this noise component will dominate the signal component. It will the noise component will dominate the signal component. So for all those frequencies corresponding to u comma v, the f cap of u comma v will be a not so good estimate of the original f of u comma v. And one more thing, we came across a terminology called image deconvolution, and we related it to be getting used during the image restoration. But while doing the image restoration, we did something which is being called as the inverse filtering. So the thing to understand here is that when we are dividing the degraded image G of u comma v, that is the image represented in Fourier domain, by the estimate of the degradation function, it is giving us the estimate of the original image. So this division is in Fourier domain. Equivalently, the same operation equivalently in spatial domain gets into being called as a image deconvolution. It is something like when we are doing convolution in spatial domain, it is equivalent to multiplication in Fourier domain or frequency domain. Similarly, the division here that is taking place in Fourier domain is equivalent to the deconvolution process in spatial domain. So convolution maps to multiplication and the deconvolution maps to division. So while we are performing inverse filtering in order to get the restoration, in order to get the restored image, indirectly we are performing image deconvolution in the spatial domain.